love God. I mean, that's just a little tiny prompting that now leads into the entire conversation of today, which is all about impact and the letter M associated to multiplication. So if you were not here yesterday and you jumped in for the training and you got the I, it's Illuminate. And we sent out an email last night. We actually gave out our first free resource every single day this week. We're going to be giving you access to something some of you have never had access to. And unless you're deeply connected in our community, you might have never heard before. And so a lot of times when people come into the Fit and Faith Media Company or the Fit and Faith Media Network, they know that we do things, but they don't really know to the extent in which we have multiplied the things that we do. And there's so many effective strategies in order to build this out, whether it's your original business plan or not. It's the importance of knowing that there is a path of development, there's a path of multiplication, and it's all based in premise in harvesting, right? We all have this vision of our business. We all have this vision of our life. Let's just go back and take it back to just like who we are as people. And we want more. And I believe God puts that in our hearts with a desire for us to want more of Him. And the fickle ways of the world can have us distracted for what does that moreness actually mean. And whether we chase money, whether we chase more freedom, whether we chase more of affirmation, whether we chase more of comfort or love or peace or kindness, ultimately, we're all looking for more satisfaction, more contentment. And when we get ingrained in a business perspective, that more traditionally is connected to more influence, more followers, more clients, more money, because more of that allows for, in our perspective, more impact, not more success, not more happiness, because we know that money doesn't buy happiness. Though I have heard from other Christian entrepreneurs who really preach around the idea that that's a lie, that multiplication of money, the more of that can't buy happiness. But if you think about it from the perspective of poverty connected to abundance, abundance is an element of contentment, which is an element of joy, which is an element of our Father. We serve a prosperous Father. We serve someone who has more riches than we could ever imagine having access to. And yet we limit our perspective on what we think we're due, what we think we're owed, associated to some sort of baseline. But think about if we lived in another country. I'm in Mexico right now, coming to you from Cabo San Lucas. And I'm thinking about the fact that when we were driving through the streets last night, there was poverty. And their level of contentment is much different than where my level of contentment would be, simply because of access and vantage point, right? But that doesn't mean that they're owed any less or that we are deserving of any more, no matter what country, no matter what ethnicity. We are all one nation, right? We are all stemmed from one race, the human race. And so therefore, we are all children of God who all have access to the multiplication factor and the multiplication method in which He shows up time and time and time again. So for those of you who have never dived into the Bible associated to business, it's one of my favorite ways to teach. It's also solid, right? So it's fun and I enjoy it. And I love having to ingrain myself in the Word to figure out a problem associated to business, or to get answers associated to business, or to just erect a business, right? And if we can have it sturdy, the multiplication factor actually works. But a lot of times we associate multiplication in our business, especially connected to clients or money, and it becomes something that's unsustainable. I don't want unsustainable multiplication in your business. I don't want you to run into burnout. I don't want you to run into scarcity mindset. I don't have enough, even when you hit goals that was the enoughness factor previously. I finally hit 6 figures. And for years, I thought that was the goal. And when I did it, I was like, oh, that's it? That's how that feels? That's what that's going to do for me? That is still barely scraping by, because when you are multiplying, there is an element of multiplication that doesn't just happen to your finances, it happens to the stewardship of those finances. And so I have more team members. So that money isn't just like, woo, 6 figures, right? I guess people think that that's a lot of money. It's not. And the prosperity associated to that is to know that when I make more, not only do the people connected to me make more, but the impact, that's what we're here for, is impact of my ultimate mission, of your ultimate mission, goes to the nations.